Today we're going to be doing baked pies, sort of the Trini style pies. Not the fried ones, but we did the aloo pies last season and it was so delicious. I'm going to do the baked pies this time, and I'm going to show you guys how to achieve that nice flaky crust without having to do too much effort. Super simple. So without further ado, let's just jump right in and get started. Here in the Caribbean, we celebrate our rich and diverse heritage every day in every pot. The story of our shared experiences is told in every bite of our favorite dishes. Join us as we explore Caribbean cuisine, where every dish is simply local. Our main ingredient today is Cuisine All Purpose Flour, which I love and I use for all my baking. It's wonderful. And I'm just going to scoop 2.5 cups of the all-purpose flour into a large clean bowl, just as so. Right here. It's about 2.5. And then right here as well, I have 8 ounces of cold butter that I've cut into cubes. Now it's super important that you have your butter extremely cold. And I'm gonna say this because as the crust bakes in the oven, the steam that's kind of locked within the cold butter is gonna escape, and it's gonna make our pastry a little more puffy, a little crummy. It's not necessarily like puff pastry with the layers. However, you know when you bite into those pies and it's just buttery, delicious, and just a little bit of flakes, so good, and it's really easy to achieve, but you can't skip this step. It really has to be cold. So I'm gonna dump this all right into the flour. And we did a similar method in our gulab jamun video where we're tossing the fat into the butter. So let me add a little bit of salt into my dry, almost forgot that. I'm gonna make sure it tastes good. And it's also really important, you guys, to use butter, not margarine or not shortening. It really adds to that nice rich flavor. You get that depth, that kind of dairy texture and flavor that you find with pies. If you use hydrogenated fat, so like shortening or margarine, sometimes it just kind of tastes oily, to be honest. And if we're gonna have a pie, I mean, it's not the healthiest thing in the world, let's make sure it tastes good now. Is that too much to ask? All right, so I'm gonna just come in here and I'm gonna just toss my butter into the flour. My hands are clean, by the way. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to rub the butter into the flour and sort of just break it up into smaller pieces. So I'm doing this process by hand, and it is lovely. It's quite relaxing. I'm not in a rush or anything. I'm having a good time. Butter, flour, it's really fun. However, if you want to speed up this process, and you guys always know there's an expedited way. If you have a food processor, a large one, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna dump all the flour in with your salt and dump all the butter cubes, and you're just gonna blitz it and pour the water in. And that's a really easy way just to kind of speed this process up. However, you don't really get the bragging rights, so you could tell your family, yo, I made this pie for you by hand, by the sweat of thy brow. Don't worry, the sweat did not drop into the bowl, but I made it with love for you by hand. So it's up to you. If you want to do the quick way, that's it. If not, just enjoy the rubbing of the butter and the flour. All right, so I've just been working the butter into the flour, and it probably only took me about 3 minutes or so. Your hands have heat on them and will gently melt the butter in, making it a little bit easier, but you really don't want it to get room temperature at all. This bowl is quite cold and we're gonna keep it that way. By the way, I didn't mention, I have this beautiful, cute little stand here, and that's what I'm gonna use to fill my beef pies. Sometimes I put things out and I forget to mention to you what they're for. This is for my beef pies later, and I'm so excited to use this. It's one of my new little toys. I know I'm kind of weird. My toys are, you know, homewares, but if you like that vibe, just put a little like on this video, because I know we have homewares nerds out there too. Anyway, back to pies. So we have our butter rubbed in. Right, I have some water, and this is ice cold. I poured this out and actually put it in the freezer while I was doing this, so it's quite cold. Quite simply, I'm just going to pour some water right into our flour, salt, butter blend, and I'm just gonna toss it together and gently form this beautiful buttery mess into a ball. And you just kind of gently work it in. Mind you, I'm not kneading whatsoever. I'm simply just bringing it together. When you knead something, you're developing gluten in the mixture. And gluten is what makes things a little more tough. So when you have a bread, if it's bound together, that means there's a lot of gluten has been worked into it. But we're trying to make nice, flaky, soft pastries. So we just want to bring it together into a ball, just like so. And if it gets too wet, don't be too hard on yourself. Just simply add some more Cuisine All Purpose Flour. All right, so that's about it. I'm going to transfer this onto some plastic wrap and just flatten it into a disc and pop that into the fridge for about 45 minutes. All right, so it's time to make our fillings for these pies. So we're gonna do 2 today. We're gonna do beef, and then we're also gonna use the Cuisine tuna in water. So first off, we're gonna do the beef. And I'm not trying to overthink it too much. You just wanna make it taste good, all right? And in Trinidad, how we make things taste good, as you all know, we put some seasoning in it. So here I have like sort of a standard seasoning blend that I like to make. It has some parsley, thyme, onion, garlic, pimento, and I just blend it up in my food processor. And now there's where you have it, right? And I have some ground beef here. It's about 1 pound. We're not gonna use all. You could put some aside and make some shepherd's pie after if you want. But we're just gonna season this up really quick in the pot. So I have my Cuisine soybean oil. I'm just gonna add this to my pan, just like so. I'm gonna add about a heaping teaspoon of the seasoning right inside. And you guys, it's really choose your own adventure when it comes to seasoning your beef. If you wanna add some more Asian flavor, you wanna put some ginger and some soy sauce or some sesame oil in there, go right ahead. If you wanna stew it and put some brown sugar, go right ahead. I'm just gonna flavor it up kind of Creole style with my seasoning here. I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato, not too much. I don't want it to be too watery. Smells so good already. I am hungry. And then I'm gonna just brown my beef and throw it right inside. There we go. Gonna push it down. And of course I have the dynamic duo, salt and black pepper. And like I said, whatever you wanna do. This is a very standard recipe. If you wanna add some jalapenos and some more onions in there and make it more like a Latin vibe, you can do that. Don't even get me started. I'm gonna go through every single cuisine and I'm gonna tell you, if you wanna make it Arabic, you could add a little cumin and you know, just have fun with it. Whatever makes it unique for you. All right, so we have our beef here. It's been cooking for about maybe 5 to 7 minutes. It's nice and brown. It smells so delicious. All my aromatics have kind of cooked down into the meat. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna remove this from the flame. I'm gonna let it cool completely. And then we're gonna move on to our tuna. So next we're gonna make our tuna. By all means, if you want to just toss the tuna, I mean, obviously it's already cooked, so you could just drain the water out and just toss it in whatever seasonings you want. However, stewed tuna has a really, really special place in my heart. My producer, Badawi, he has a whole recipe on stewed tuna and I will link it below. It's delicious. So I'm gonna do kind of a riff off of that. I'm gonna warm it up with some tomatoes, a bit of lemon pepper, and some just freshly squeezed lemon. It really, really, really makes a nice difference in flavor. So I'm just gonna add some of our seasoning, just dry straight into the pot. And I'm just gonna dump the tuna in, and I've just drained it out. And we're using the Cuisine tuna chunks in water. Just kind of toss that in there. Next, I'm gonna add a little bit of tomatoes. Smells so good. Can you tell that I prefer the tuna to the beef? And then next we're gonna add some lemon pepper just to give it a little zip. Some black pepper. And I'm gonna go very light on the salt because to me I find tuna is a bit salty as it is, so I don't wanna kill it with the salt. And I'm just gonna let this cook together, let the tomatoes kind of soften a bit. And then I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit of fresh lemon right into the pot, just a little acid. All right, so our dough was resting in the fridge for about 45 minutes and it's nice and firm, but not too hard or anything. So I'm just kind of warming it up a little bit with my hands. That way it's a little more malleable when we're rolling it out. So I'm just gonna unwrap it just like so. And I know some of y'all have fears of the rolling pin, but I'm gonna show you a way to roll out dough that you get it nice and even, it's not gonna stick, and it's gonna be a very smooth process. So there's no need to be intimidated by the rolling pin. And maybe you'll have other memories of rolling pins, but we'll leave that to you and your therapist. I'll go ahead, go again, laughing at my own jokes. All right, great. So I just floured my surface very liberally and my counter is squeaky clean. I'm just going to add some flour right onto the top and I'm going to flour the rolling pin. So when I have my little bowl here with extra flour, give myself about a cup or two. And I'm just going to roll back and forth. And the trick is you have to keep the dough moving, all right? So instead of just spending too much time on one piece, you're gonna flip it around and then eventually you'll see that slowly but surely, your dough is gonna flatten out beautifully and evenly without breaking up as well. So I'm gonna do that. If you have kids that are interested in the kitchen, this is a really nice, fun way to get them involved. Take turns, you know, help mom or dad out or auntie or uncle out in the kitchen. As you can see, we're getting there. And another note, this is a very basic and ever adaptable recipe for our pie crust dough. So you could use this to make any savory pies, whatever filling you want. If you want to do chana, if you want to do potato, if you want to make a quiche and roll this into a pie dish, you could do that too. It's a really, really good basic recipe. So here I have a very fancy ring cutter. If you don't have one of these, you could use the rim of a small bowl or the rim of a coffee cup. But I would say this is about 4 inches in diameter, and that's gonna give us enough room. If you don't have anything bigger and you wanna make mini pies, you can too. Or if you wanna just take a knife and just draw them out the size you want, that's fine as well. So I'm gonna just make sure and dip my cutter into my flour bowl here and just punch them out. And there you go, number 1. Right onto my little board here. You will have scraps, of course. You try to punch them as close together as possible, but I have some scraps here. So we can reuse these, but once, if you reuse them over and over and over, it's gonna change the texture of the pie dough a lot. So I just kind of gather them here, and I'm just gonna form them into a little disc, and then just rewrap them into the plastic wrap. And then I'm gonna let this sit for about 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna roll out some more circles. All right, so now we've come to the filling part of these pies. And I used to love doing this with my granny when I was younger. She's actually the person who taught me about, you know, making sure the butter is cold and working quickly. And we would make beef pies together and it was always super fun. So I'm just going to roll out each circle a little bit more, just so we can get a little bit more surface area to stuff our pies. And I'm gonna start with our beef right here. I'm just gonna fill it up. You don't want to overfill it because then it will be bursting, but at the same time, you don't want to skimp on the pies either. So I'm just going to take some water, dip my index finger, and just make a little semicircle onto the front edge of the pie. And ever so gently, I'm just going to fold it over just like so. Then I have a fork right here, and I'm just going to gently press both sides together, just like that. And there you go. So this is pie number 1. Okay, so I have my pies made. Don't they look super cute? My heart is warm looking at these right now. So I'm actually gonna throw these in the fridge for about 20 minutes and kind of let them get a bit colder, because the butter would have melted a little bit as I've been working with them. And we really want the butter to be as cold as possible before we throw them in the oven so the whole steam action can take place. So yeah, I'm gonna throw these in the fridge and I will show you what they look like in a few minutes. All right, so our pies just came out of the fridge. They're nice and firm. They're not too soft and, you know, sensitive anymore. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna brush them all with an egg wash. If you don't want to use eggs, you can go ahead and just use some melted butter on top, but nothing really gives the nice crust that eggs, like an egg wash, gives to the pies. So I'm just gonna brush this right on. And the egg wash is quite simply 1 egg that I've just beaten up and added about 2 teaspoons of water to. So I'm just gonna brush each one just like that. I have my oven behind me. It's preheated at 350 degrees. So next I'm going to take the fork and I'm just going to prick a couple holes in them. That way the steam from the filling can escape and the pies don't like burst open or burst at the seams in the oven. So I'm going to, right here I have my beef and over here I have my tuna, and I'm just going to kind of do one in a certain way and then one in another so I can differentiate without having to bite into them to see what flavor is what, right? So this one I'm just going to do horizontally. And this is the tuna, and then I'm just going to do diagonal for the beef. Right. Nice. And there you go. So I'm going to throw these into my oven. They're going to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, just until they're nice and golden brown and delicious. We're going to wait maybe like 5 minutes. I'm literally going to put a timer on my phone, and then I'm going to bite into these. I can't wait, guys. Ta-da! There you have it. The pies smell so good. Oh, they're steaming hot though. They just came out of the oven. I'm gonna transfer them onto my cute little stand. Wait like 3 minutes, and we're gonna crack one of these bad boys open. Almost there, y'all. Almost there. Smells of hot butter and a little bit of seasoning is just wafting through the air right now. I can't wait to dive into these, and I'm guessing y'all would know which one I'm gonna go for. The one with the horizontal stripes, and that is the tuna, because I love those 2 tuna. So yeah, they look perfect. They're perfectly golden brown. Let's break them open and see. So good. So light, crumbles beautifully. This is the best way to enjoy pies, honestly, y'all. Special thanks to our friends at Cuisine for making this video happen. Cuisine products can be found at all Massy stores nationwide. I'm gonna get back to eating these pies. Gonna wrap some up for later and have them as a little snack as well. And I will see you all next time. Bye.